Hey there. So today I wanted to take a look at this book here. This is the Silver Age World's Finest Omnibus Volume 1. This is the new printing that just came out for 2024. There was a printing a few years back that I didn't pick up at the time. I collect some of the DC Omnibus editions they do. I'm mostly focused on getting the Golden Age Batman ones, but I did want to pick up these World's Finest ones too. So kind of my strategy, I guess, with these is that, I want to collect all the Batman comics that have come out, but, logistically and realistically, I won't be able to do that. Some of the stuff is just far too expensive for me. I'm not a billionaire, but if I can get, the back issues that go so far back, and I can buy these omnibuses that come so far forward, maybe I can meet in the middle and just have, physical copies of everything I could read at home. That's kind of the goal here with these. I do collect World's Finest. I have several issues of this. But again, I wanted this. This is kind of like when it became a team-up book. And so a lot of people don't realize that because World's Finest was the Superman and Batman team-up book for so long, it didn't start out that way. It was originally just a Superman story and a Batman story. And so they didn't team up until, the stories collected here. So I was really looking forward to this. Again, I didn't pick up the first printing of this when it came out, so I was really excited to get this new copy, this new printing they just did. So I sat down to read it the other day, and, there's a really nice intro here by Mark Waid. And the volume starts out with this book here. So this isn't an issue of World's Finest. This is Superman number 76, and this is the first time that Superman and Batman teamed up together. So, it really makes a lot of sense for this book to be included. It's the first time they teamed up. This is basically what we'll get for the duration of the World's Finest series, so I'm really glad they included this here. And again, a lot of people don't realize that this is the first time they teamed up. Everyone kind of assumes it was in World's Finest. So we have this first issue here. And let me just double check real quick, because they have credits in here now, because, comics back then didn't. So we have cover art by Win Mortimer. This was written by Edmund Hamilton, who did some other good stuff in World's Finest. The penciler's Kurt Swan. And we have John Fischetti on inks. And this issue is titled The Mightiest Team in the World. So I've read this one before, and I noticed something kind of interesting looking through this. So right here on the first page, we have this caption. And this is not the caption that was originally in this story. I have read, reprints of this before, and this is not how the story starts. So let's just go through this real quick. So, it's a Golden Age, Silver Age story. So, you still have the splash page with a big kind of caption introducing. So let's just read here what's in the caption. Now that you've read the origin of the World's Finest team, here's the natural follow-up. The story of how Superman and Batman learned each other's identities from Superman number 76, May-June 1952, is the first tale of the Superman-Batman team ever printed, the mightiest team in the world. Now, they didn't make a new caption for this collection. They're printing these stories as they were originally printed is the idea here. So that wouldn't be here. This would be like maybe in the introduction of the book or something like that. But this is not how Superman's number 76 was printed. And if you're reading here, we're saying, now that you've read the origin of the World's Finest team, this is the first story in the book. We haven't read anything yet. It starts with this. So, I have some other reprints of this story. So I took a look at those real quick. So this is the Millennium Edition of Superman 76 that came out in 2000 when DC was doing these. And here we have a different caption. So let's just go through this real quick. So this intro is Superman, mighty man of steel, whose superpowers have conquered catastrophes and wrecked wrongdoers. Batman, hooded foe of crime, whose flashing feats have crushed crooks for years. That's a mouthful. Are any two names of the world more famous than these? Yet these two mighty champions of the right have never met until now. Yes, at long last, Superman and Batman meet face to face on a voyage of peril. And strange and startling is the outcome when the two legendary figures form the mightiest team in the world. So now that is the original intro to this story. And I have another reprint here too. This is the book Superman from the 30s to the 70s, and this is from, I think this is originally 1971. I think this is the 1972 edition I have here. So yeah, a lot of black and white here. But here's the same story, and again, we have the original caption here. This is how it was originally presented. So that's what's in this book too. And this is the first way I read this story, was in this collection. So my question became, why is this like this in this book? Where is this from? How did this happen? And I was looking around a little bit, and I found out it comes from this story here. So this is World's Finest, number 179. And this is from 1968. We've got a Neil Adams cover here. And so we've got Batman and Superman here on the cover, introducing some reprint stories that they're going to have in here. And so one of those stories is the Mightiest Team in the World from Superman 76. And if we look here, this is the new introduction. So it says, now that you've read the origin of the world's finest team, well, that's the first story here, the origin of the Superman-Batman team. So that's what we have here. So this story is the next one in the book here. So it looks like they changed the caption for this reprint in 1968. And now somehow that has got transposed into this reprint here in the omnibus. Why that happened, I don't know. They've obviously reprinted this story since 1968. You know, we have the other collection in the Millennium Edition. I checked. When you look up the single issue of Superman 76 on the DC Universe Infinite app, it is with this new caption. So it doesn't present it the way it was originally written. I'm not sure what the oversight was here. I'm not sure how this got switched into the Omnibus Edition. Haven't really seen anything like this before in these books. I know there have been some omnibus editions, blah, 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 that have had printing errors, but I've never seen anything like this where they've kind of changed the content like this. I think there was an Absolute Batman Inc., where maybe they adjusted the art a little bit, where they took off Batman, or they put Batman's oval on, or something like that. But I've never seen something like this, where this really looks like just an oversight on someone's part. My guess would be, and again, I have no inside knowledge on this, my guess would be someone was going through files, they found the 1968 version, and since it's newer, maybe it was a better quality than the 1952 story. And so someone just said, hey, I'll use this instead, without probably realizing that the wording is different. So yeah, I haven't gone through the whole book yet, but that's the only change I've seen here, and I can't imagine that happens anywhere else in the book. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, kind of a weird change. And now this is the second edition of this book, and so I went and looked up, and again, I don't have the first edition, so I went and looked up reviews, and from what I could tell, it looks like this is in the first printing too of this book. So if you have one of those, take a look, see which version you have. Let me know in the comments below, actually, if it's in the first editions too. Again, I don't have one, but from what I saw online, it looks like it is the incorrect caption in there too, and it wasn't corrected for this. So I don't know if DC even knows there's a problem with this. I can't see them recalling the book to fix this or anything like that. But it's interesting, and again, I don't know how that switch happened. Again, I'm sure people, this is someone's job. I'm sure they're just busy and kind of cranking stuff out. And, a lot of times for these collected editions, it's a thing of like, the work's already done. We don't need to proofread anything in theory because it's all been checked before and it should all be right, So apparently that wasn't the case here. But yeah, let me know if you have one of these with this new caption in it. Have you seen any other kind of instances like this in any of the reprint editions? They're doing a lot of the facsimiles now and different things. As far as, when I kind of look at that stuff, I don't see anything obvious like this, but this one really stood out for me just because it was the first issue in the book, and, you know, caption doesn't make sense in the context of this. It does in the 68 reprint, but not so much here. So yeah, let me know below, you know, if you've seen anything like this. Do you have this? As far as I know, there's not two different versions of this. This wasn't corrected or anything like that that I could find online. But let me know, and thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter/X at Detective651, also on Instagram at Detective651. Be sure to check out my t-shirt store at tpublic.com/user/Detective651. I've got a lot of nerdy designs on there, and there's sales all the time, so check it out frequently.